Hello Scorpio, so I'm doing your bonus weekly reading for June the 14th to the 21st. As always with your Scorpio Sundays readings, there are going to be timestamps in the description box below, just in case you feel like any of these oracles are not quite resonating with you this week, okay? I'm certain that you've had this one out recently, Scorpio. It's the Dreaming Dolphin, and you've got the Moonlit Owl's Wisdom as well. So here it is. It says, connect with your dreams and aspirations, okay? Reflect on your long-term goals and take steps to align your daily actions with these dreams. Your future success depends on today's efforts. So yeah, we've definitely had this message out fairly recently, Scorpio. Now with this one, it's saying that the actions that you're putting in right now, today, they do mean something. They mean something very big, because you're building the framework right now for your future. Okay, so everything that you do, everything that you decide today, the future version of you is really going to be grateful to all of the legwork that you're currently putting in. Okay, so being prepared. Preparation is the key here, Scorpio. Consider what it is that you're preparing for, or what you're needing to make preparations for. Okay, literally putting in the framework now means you don't have to worry about it later on, and then you can just add on to what you're currently doing now. Okay, really interesting. Definitely keep an open mind with that message. And then you've got the Moonlit Owl's Wisdom, which is to seek knowledge through study and reflection. So maybe with this framework that you're needing to put in place, you need to do some research as well, right? Now, this could literally be anything. This can manifest in so many different ways in your own lived experience, right? I will give you a personal example to put to this energy, right? So, for example, at some point in the future, and I'm speaking within the next year or so, I'm going to need to get a service dog, right? To help me out with my balance and my mobility and everything, right? That is something that is going to be necessary in order for me to live a relatively normal life, okay? So I've got to put in the framework now. Like, I have to put in the framework now. I have to know what it is that I'm doing from puppyhood all the way through to a successful service/assistance dog, right? That's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. And a lot of things are needing to be put in place now, and a lot of things need to be put into consideration. I've got to know what I'm doing. That's going to require a lot of knowledge, okay? So you can use that example and apply that to what you're currently doing here, okay? You have some sort of aspiration, clearly, that is very, very important to you specifically. That's going to need you to put the groundwork in place now, so that in a few months' time, okay, 6 months, 12 months down the line, you're going to be able to click on to the framework you've put in place, everything that you then need. Do you know what I mean? It's all about making your life easier and making this whole process simpler. So, you know, when people have got dreams or aspirations or goals in mind, they focus on the end result. Okay, this energy is saying, don't focus on the end result, but focus on the steps that you're needing to take right now that's going to help you get to the end result. Okay, that's going to require knowledge through study and reflection. So study and reflection, looking at the realistic side of what you're wanting to do or what you're trying to attain. Okay, it's wonderful to have these dreams, aspirations and fantasies, but then you're also needing to look at the realistic side of that as well. Okay, you've got to take it all into account. It's all about having that balanced viewpoint, so that when you do finally end up getting to the goal that you're wanting to reach, you're not going to feel disappointed if something should happen that didn't quite work out the way that you imagined it to. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, dive into a new book or learn a new skill. So adding new skills to your ever-expanding metaphorical tool belt is going to work wonders, okay? Expanding on your knowledge will provide you with new insights and tools for growth, okay? So it's fairly self-explanatory there. What I'm going to do, because Scorpio, you have recently had this dolphin energy out, so I'm going to put that one there, and I'll put the owl's message up on the top, okay? So that you can focus on... Oh, so I'm just throwing my crystals around everywhere. So that you can focus on the owl's energy throughout the rest of this reading, okay? Which is saying for you to seek knowledge through study. Further learning, and that's really going to help out with that self-development as well. It can also help you to foresee any potential issues, problems, pitfalls, anything like that, okay? So that when you do eventually come across any issues, you're not going to freak out and lose your shit, because you'll be like, aha, I was expecting that to happen. I know exactly what I'm going to do here, because I've already learned about this. I've already read about this. I've already seen some kind of prediction that this issue was going to be a possibility here. Okay, so you'll be able to take it on with a very level head. Okay, right. Your rune message. Algae is nice. I love this one. Yeah, I would say that that's my favorite rune, actually. Algae. Protection. Divine protection specifically. Okay, protection from beyond the veil. It can also help instill a lot of self-confidence and self-belief as well. Now, I do apologize if I'm misremembering. Okay, feel free to correct me if I am misremembering. But I believe I saw somewhere that the Norse would sometimes inscribe the Algae rune on their shields, weapons and ships, because again it helps to give them that courage in times of strife, in times of battle, and of course that divine protection as well. So it says sanctity, blessing, assistance and protection. If you feel that you're in need of additional protection at this time, or additional courage in trying times, Scorpio, then definitely consider harnessing the energy of this particular rune. Trace it out on a bit of paper, okay? It doesn't have to be anything fancy at all. I always say it's literally your intent that you're putting into it as you're drawing it out. So it's really simply the letter Y with a stick going straight through it, okay? And your intention as you're tracing that out is for additional courage. It is for additional protection, okay? And it really can help to instill that confidence within you that you are going to need at this time, right? Whenever someone is striving for something, or they're trying to achieve a goal that they have, that requires confidence and skill, okay? Both confidence and skill. And you've seen both of these here with the dolphin and the owl's wisdoms, confidence and skill. You need both. So yeah, just keep that rune close to you, okay? Just keep it in your pocket, under your pillow, wherever you feel is more appropriate for you. And that's going to encourage more of those energies to assist you in these times of need, okay? Right. Healing crystal time. Feel free to laugh at my ridiculous awkward shuffle with this deck. I've still not managed to track down a normal shaped oracle deck for this one. I'd love to find it. Let's see. because I cannot shuffle this deck for the life of me. I always struggle. But it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful deck. Okay, Tiger's Eye. Courage. Courage, strength, self-assuredness. Okay. Now, courage is not the absence of fear. All right. It is feeling the fear and going ahead and doing it anyway. Right. Okay, so courage, optimism, and power. A courageous and brave stone, Tiger's Eye motivates you to show up as your best self, dispelling any fears and doubts in your path. I do apologize for that knocking. It is the neighbors. They have decided, hey, it's the weekend, let's do some construction work. Highly illegal in this country, but let's say no more. Known as the shapeshifter, the Tiger's Eye embodies healing energies from both the earth and the sun, okay? Drawing optimism towards you while also grounding you in reality. That's what we've already been talking about, Scorpio. It is absolutely wonderful to have goals, ambitions, desires, whatever, right? It's so easy, isn't it, to get carried away in the fantasy of, oh, it's going to be fantastic, it's going to be wonderful. But then we often forget about the hard work that needs to go at the back of all of that as well. Yeah, it is so easy to slip into this fantasy. So approach your situation this week, Scorpio, from both angles, okay? Yes, it's wonderful to have that fantasy picture in your mind's eye, but do not forget about the reality of it as well, okay? The reality part that is going to contribute to your ultimate goal. So stay grounded, okay? Call on the warrior inside of you, Alga's rune, yeah? And pursue your ambitions with laser focus. So basically, Scorpio, once you have initiated this plan of yours, this idea, whatever it might be, there's not going to be any give backsies. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to go back to that dog example there. That's a lifelong commitment, okay? We're looking at German Shepherds for this, which we're not making it easy for ourselves. Okay, fair enough, they are the world's first guide dogs, but still, we're not choosing the easy route. It's going to be a lifelong commitment for the next 10, 11, 12 years. I don't think that they actually live that long. But it's a lifelong commitment, and once it's been introduced into the household, that's it then for the rest of its life. There are no give backsies, and if it goes wrong, do you know what I mean? So energetically, the vibes are very much the same. Whatever this is about, Scorpio, it is a commitment. It is a huge commitment. Okay. And if it goes wrong, if it doesn't quite go according to your initial plan, you might find that your plan will need to change and adapt. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, well, it's not a total loss. It just didn't go quite according to plan. So be mentally and emotionally prepared for that, okay? Because according to this, there are no give backsies, okay? So with confidence, strength and power, Tiger's Eye helps break through any blockages that stand in your way. You're being told, Scorpio, you absolutely do have what it takes. You absolutely do. This is about giving yourself that chance, giving yourself every chance possible so that you can set yourself up for a win. You don't want to be setting yourself up for a failure. Okay, activate the warrior inside of you, and it's associated with the signs Leo, Capricorn, and the planet Sun. Okay, yeah, I think it's associated with Capricorn because they do have that laser-like focus. They are incredibly driven. They are very goal-orientated, and they will not be distracted from their end goal, no matter what happens. If someone drops a nuclear, right, they've still got their own end goal in mind, and they will achieve that no matter what, even like to the end of days. They're literally the sea goats, aren't they? So they're very, very driven. So if you've got Capricorn placements in your own chart, definitely harness that, use that. Okay. Leo as well is associated with Leo, because Scorpio, this is going to require you being incredibly self-assured. Okay, you have to believe in your own abilities here. Okay, Tiger's Eye might be able to help you out with that. All right. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the strongest energies. I'm going to pull. I'm feeling one from this deck, and I'm feeling either 2 or 3 from this deck here. So what is it that you'd like to say to Scorpio, please? For the week of June the 14th to the 21st. Now, I don't know if these messages are going to be connected to the information I've just given you, or if the topic of conversation is going to change. We just have to leave it to Spirit and see whatever they're wanting to discuss with you at this time. Okay. You have such a bright light inside. Stop dimming it. So it's the same topic. Oh, I'm just bashing the microphone around. I probably shouldn't do that. I shouldn't break expensive equipment. Right. So you have such a bright light inside. Stop dimming it. In what ways are you dimming your own light? All right. Are you allowing yourself the freedom required for you to carry out whatever this is that you're needing to do? Are you trying to talk yourself out of it? Or do you feel like you've bitten off more than what you can chew? Because this energy is indicating you actually haven't bitten off more than you can chew. This is completely and utterly within your control. Okay, absolutely. Then you've got love and wishing, or the wishing well. And this one says, love in all forms is in your life now. Love will sometimes ask a sacrifice of you. Interesting. We're going to get the tarot on this, find out more about what that's pertaining to. Okay, and the wishing, or the wishing well, says to make sure that your dream serves your highest purpose and doesn't take away from another, and your wishes will be fulfilled. So yeah, Spirit is definitely sticking to the same topic that they started off this reading with. Sometimes they do that, other times they don't, and they move on to something else entirely different. Okay, they're sticking with it for your reading this week. Literally saying what you're trying to achieve, Scorpio, this week, it's more than possible. It is going to require some kind of sacrifice on your part. Okay, don't think that they're on about like blood sacrifices or anything like that. Again, we're going to take a deeper dive into exactly what this sacrifice might be. Okay. Your dream, I'm understanding it does serve your highest good. And they're saying here to make sure that everybody that you're dealing with, that you're working with, or everybody who is going to potentially be affected by what you're trying to achieve here, make sure that everybody is on the same page. Okay, don't worry about it if there is no one else involved, or if no one else is going to be affected by what you're trying to do here. Don't worry about it at all. Okay. Your message would then be saying, make sure that this is what you truly, truly want. Okay. I mean, either way, if other people are involved with this or not, either way, make sure that this is completely and utterly what you truly, truly want, because they're doubling down and reinforcing that message, Scorpio, that once you do this, whatever you're trying to do, there are no give-backsies. It's not like you can change your mind halfway through. You're going to have to be completely and utterly committed to that goal, okay, whatever that might be. All right, so yeah, I think we're almost ready to start clarifying this. Vision and Aphrodite. It says losing something is replaced with something better. A great vision into the future. So yeah, apparently what you're planning, Scorpio, is actually a very good idea. Okay. Losing something is replaced. That's part of the sacrifice. And look how these cards bookending this wishing well as well. Okay. We're going to have to find out, aren't we? We're going to have to find out. All right, so what is being removed, or what is it that you're needing to metaphorically sacrifice or release or let go of? And then what it is that's coming through to replace that, because that's what Spirit's wanting to talk to you about here. And it is part of what you're trying to manifest. I'm sorry for using that word. I know it gets misused and overused, okay, the word manifest. It's appropriate, though, for your reading today, Scorpio. It is fucking appropriate, all right? You're trying to manifest something here, really, really important. That your foreseeable future is then going to be dictated by. You are trying to manifest. Just make sure that it's truly, truly, truly what you want. Okay. Only you're going to know the answer to that, of course, because everybody's trying to manifest different things, right? All of us Scorpios, we're not all on the exact same journey at the exact same time. That's just impossible, right? So however this is resonating with you, either way, they're saying it's going to be a lot of work. Like, are you ready? Are you ready for that? Because it is going to be a lot of work. But it's also going to be worth it. Again, maybe that's what you're needing to sacrifice. Maybe you're needing to sacrifice some of your free time. If you're one of these lucky ones who currently does have that tiny little bit of free time, maybe that's what you're going to have to sacrifice in order for you to completely and fully manifest your desires or your goals here, right? Again, take it as it resonates. Let's take a look. Okay, so what is it that Scorpio is needing to metaphorically sacrifice, surrender, release, or let go of first, please? What are you trying to tell Scorpio here? What do they need to surrender? Oh, release, let go of, or sacrifice? The Sun, the Page of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands. This is when the Ten of Swords. Okay, it's quite a lot. There's a few things. I'm going to prep my second deck here a minute, Scorpio. While I'm talking you through these messages. Oh yeah, Otter Spirit bracelets, description box below. They definitely wanted a plug then. Right. Yeah, so while I'm prepping this deck, I'm going to talk you through this because there's quite a lot. So the Sun with the Page of Pentacles, it's not saying that you have to sacrifice your happiness. Okay, it's not saying that. I'll tell you exactly what this is. They're saying you are going to have to sacrifice temporarily some of your freedoms, right? What do they mean by that? They mean the Page of Pentacles, which is the card of the student. Okay, do you remember this owl? Right there, I'll put that there. Your studies, your knowledge gathering, your skill building, Page of Pentacles, it is going to take time. So some of these freedoms that are being sacrificed, it might be your fun times, your social times temporarily. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, if you're anything like me, and you probably are, say for example, every evening you have a couple of hours where you can watch junk on YouTube, or you've a couple of hours every evening where you do some online gaming, right? And that's like your wind down time, your social time, things like that. So temporarily, because the sun is temporary energy, you're going to have to technically surrender some of that fun time, because your studies, your learning, your skill building, it's going to take the place of your downtime, okay, just for the short term. It's definitely short term, so don't worry too much about that, okay? Just until you build up enough skill or knowledge where you can feel confident then to walk on your own 2 feet, as they say, okay? So it's a short-term sacrifice for the long-term gain, all right? You got to take your studies, whatever they might be, and your knowledge building and your skill building serious if you want this to be a success. As I've already mentioned, whatever this is that you're trying to manifest, it's not going to come easy. But then you need to remember, Scorpio, anything in life worth having, it ain't going to come easy. It's not going to be handed to you on a silver platter, and you are going to have to work for it, okay? So that's one of the sacrifices that they're on about. And they're also saying, Ace of Wands and the Ten of Swords. There's something here, might be creative, that you might have to put a bit of a pause on, all right? Because it's with the Ten of Swords. You're not going to be able to start something new here, which, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense, because your time and your effort, any free time that you have or had, is going to be dedicated to your studies, learning and skill building. So there's not going to be any time left over for you to partake. Do you know what I mean? In any new game, like if there's a new release that's coming out that you've been really excited for, you might not be able to partake in that, right? Which again, that might hurt, okay? If you're a huge gamer, for example, that might be a bit of a sting. I'm not going to lie, Ten of Swords is a bit of a sting, okay? If you had ideas and aspirations on, oh yeah, I'm going to do this main thing here, and at the same time I'm going to do this brand new side thing over here, you're not going to be able to do that brand new side thing over here, okay? Because all of your time is going to be dedicated to the main issue, the main point, the main thing that you're trying to manifest. All right, so restructuring definitely going to be required, and reprioritizing as well. Okay, fairly simple so far. Can you tell us more about Sun and the Page of Pentacles for the sacrifices? Ace of Cups and the Hermit. Yeah, free, like, you know, that free time that you spend in your own company, if you do that. Again, not all Scorpios do that, but if you do, that's going to be less, okay? Again, temporarily. I don't know why these cards have gotten so mucky. I do make sure that my hands are freshly washed before I touch any of my decks, just as general respect of my tools, right? But sometimes the oils, it does transfer. I find it annoying, especially on these shiny cards. Anyway, Yeah, with this combination, that wind down time, that free time, if you do currently enjoy it, it's going to be less. Okay, again, temporarily. What is this? Ace of Wands and Ten of Swords. Thank you. Two of Pentacles with what else? That's off balance. A Six of Cups off balance. Okay. Right, Scorpio. I'm going to tell you now. There is something here to do with the past mistakes. You do have past energies here that might start weighing heavy on your mind, that might shake your confidence a bit with this, okay? You got to keep on top of that. You've got to keep on top of that. So say, for example, 6 years ago, 6 months ago, you attempted something very, very similar to what you're attempting to manifest now. Only back then, it didn't work out. It was a disaster. It went completely wrong, okay, in all different types of ways, and it left a bit of a sour taste in your mouth, okay. We definitely have that embittered energy going on here. That's perfectly normal. What they're saying is you mustn't allow the fact that it didn't work out before to shake your confidence when you're attempting to do it now, okay? You're a different person now, even if it was as recently as 6 months ago, right? If it was as far back as 6 years ago, then you're definitely a different person now. You've learned different things since then. You're basically a different person now, so you're not predestined to make the same mistake again this time round. So what they're saying is a bit cheesy. Yes, just apply the fuck-ups, the mistakes from the past. Keep that in your head as lessons rather than this is definitely going to go wrong. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got that experience now. You've got that experience to back you up with. So straight away, you're already setting off on the right foot. So any resentments, worries, or anything like that about, well, I tried it before and it didn't work out, doesn't matter. Okay, it's not as much of a big deal as what you think it is, because you're not predestined to make the same mistake, right? So what is, so surrender that, release all that, okay? What is coming in? What is replacing the energies that you're releasing? When they say release, they're saying make peace with it. That's how you release it, okay? I know a lot of people think, oh, okay, I've got to release it. That means I'll just forget about it entirely. No, that's not what it is at all. It means you make peace with it, so that it's not overshadowing what you're trying to accomplish now. Okay. Right, so what takes its place? What's coming in for Scorpio? What is this energy being replaced with, please, for Scorpio? Oh, okay. 3 of Wands, a King of Cups. Ha! Nice. The 10 of Cups. One more for Scorps. What is this energy being replaced with? The Hermit again. There it is. Hermit twice. Peace being restored. Okay. So yeah, a little bit of a shake-up. Surprised that your card's not come out, because this is a huge change. But there it is. You got the High Priestess as your strongest overall energy here. Okay, we'll get to that one in a minute. But it's been replaced with the 3 of Wands. I do apologise if I misspoke and called that the 2 of Wands. I might have done. I don't recall. Okay, if I did, don't hold it against me. It's the 3 of Wands, not the 2 of Wands. I was looking at the picture And of course that other wand was concealed by that King of Cups there. So it's a fairly easy mistake to make. Right. Growth, expansion. You reaching a very significant milestone. They nearly had me say moment. Okay. There's a powerful moment of realization that happens. With this King of Cups, now that could involve another person easily. It's one of your cards though, Scorpio, so that could also be your energy too. That's like a sense of fulfillment, a sense of achievement, especially with the Three of Wands. And they're saying it's something that only you could have done. Okay. Tell us more about the Three of Wands and the King of Wands for the energy it's replacing with. These are all off balance. Five of Wands, Five of Swords, Four of Pentacles. Why am I getting all the names wrong today? And the Nine of Wands, all off balance. Right. Okay. What it's been replaced with. We've got this message of overcoming. But it's not overcoming an external competitor. I kind of feel like you were, in a lot of ways, in competition with yourself. That's no longer going to be the case. Okay. Especially with these other energies here as well. There's a very laid back approach that's coming through with this energy. Okay. So once the hard work has been done, you're going to feel genuinely like you can start to relax again. Okay. This feels like the pieces of the puzzle just sort of clicking into place effortlessly. And they're using that as a metaphor for your life. Okay, so you're no longer going to feel like you constantly have to push super hard. You no longer feel like you constantly have to work super hard or fight harder than anyone else. Do you know what I mean? There is this effortless flow that's coming in. Out of curiosity, the Five of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. Yeah. It's like you're proving something to yourself here, Scorpio. And you do successfully prove to yourself that you're more than capable and that you were always capable, right? It sounds cheesy, but when you feel that in real terms, there's nothing quite like it. That's a feeling that no other person can give you, or no other achievement in life can possibly give you. That's something that you can only give to yourself, because there is a substantial amount of growth here with this combination. And you genuinely feeling like the enjoyment in life, that the love, the giving and the receiving of love, all different types of love, of course, it's just effortless, right? It's that sense of connection. I suspect, Scorpio, that this is, for some of you, to do with another person. It could well be. Because there's a connection here that is deepening, that is strengthening, and it's not just the connection that you have with yourself, your higher self, which is an important connection to have, right? But this feels like the connection with another individual as well is deepening and strengthening, and it feeling effortless. So you got the Ten of Cups there with the Hermit, which is happy home, happy family, a peaceful life, feeling fulfilled and content with what you have. Now, that's a level that not very many people actually achieve. It sounds really sad when you say it out loud, but it's absolutely true. However, you are going to be one of the ones that does achieve that level. And we got self-mastery here as well with this Hermit. Okay. That's a lot of growth. That's a lot of personal achievement here. That's off balance. There's your major arcana. I suspected at some point your major arcana was going to come out of this energy, Scorpio. I did feel that very, very strongly. It's come out off balance, and even more interestingly, you've got the Seven of Swords at the bottom of that deck as well. Okay. Which is like self-deceit or self-betrayal. And it's come out off balance because there might be a risk or a danger of you doing that. Okay. Again, you know your own habits better than anyone else. When you recognize that that's likely going to be a problem, you can quickly get back on top of it again. Okay. Tell us more. Page of Cups. Yeah. Again, a little bit off center with that one. Tell us more. Thank you. The Queen of Wands reversed. Okay. The Eight of Swords in the upright. And one more for Scorpio, please. Oh, okay. Two more. The Magician and the Eight of Cups. It's under there, the Four of Cups. Okay. We'll get to that in a minute. Same as that one there. What it's being replaced with, you're going to recognize, as we saw the Seven of Swords earlier with your major arcana and the Page of Cups, you're going to recognize all of the ways in which you had been coming down too heavy on yourself. Okay, that ultimately has been destroying the relationship that you have been having with yourself. I'm seeing you processing all of that out. Okay. Again, it's going to take practice because it's not going to happen overnight. There are still going to be issues here and there with that, but you're going to be able to recognize that when it's happening a lot quicker so that it doesn't impede on your ability to successfully manifest and create. Okay. This Queen of Wands reversed with the Eight of Swords is a really interesting combination. Because it does tell me, Scorpio, that you are drawing, or you will be drawing, a lot of attention to yourself. And not all of that attention is necessarily going to be good, okay? There is a bit of green-eyed monster energy coming through. And I feel that that's what you're likely going to be attracting. Bear in mind, I don't know the exact specifics of what it is that you're trying to build, create, or manifest at this time. It's going to be different for all of you. I can tell you, though, that you shouldn't let this stop you, right? Do not use this as an excuse for you to just quit and give up, right? There is a lot of envy that you are attracting. What you mustn't do is then internalize that, okay? When you attract a lot of envy, it's because you're usually doing everything right. Not because there's something inherently wrong with you, which is where your brain tends to go when you're the target of someone else's bullshit. And do you know what I mean? Look at it objectively. Do not internalize it, okay? Because if anything is going to put you off your stroke, if you will, it's going to be that, okay? Because you don't typically like to draw attention to yourself. That's the thing, Scorpio. As a Scorpio, you much prefer to be the power behind the throne rather than the power sitting in the throne. Okay, remember back in the days, all the kings and queens would have their powerful advisors. Who was really in charge? It wasn't the person sitting in the throne. It was the person behind the throne giving the person in the throne orders. Yeah? That is almost always a Scorpio's favored position, being that power behind the throne. You don't typically like to draw attention to yourself, yet here we are. Whatever you're trying to achieve, it is going to draw a lot of attention to yourself. Okay, how is that going to make you feel? Apparently very uncomfortable, to the point where you might go, fuck that, I'm not doing it. All right, you mustn't, do you know what I mean? You mustn't allow that to put you off, ever. Because there are ways and means around everything. Like, for real. You do have successful manifestation here. You do have a message here about you searching for truth, you realizing the truth of who you are. And I mean truly who you are, not just what is your name, what is your job, what position do you hold in society. Like, on a deeper level, who you are as a soul, as a person. And then with this Four of Cups, okay, Eight of Pentacles under there. Four of Cups with Eight of Pentacles. Why am I misnaming these cards today? I don't know what's going on. I would say I should go get a coffee, but I'm not allowed. I've got to reduce the amount of caffeine I have in a day. Maybe that's the issue. Not enough caffeine. Yeah, Knight of Pentacles. I do apologize. So Four of Cups with the Knight of Pentacles. As one of your strongest overall energies, Scorpio. That's you in two different places at the same time. It's like 1 minute, yeah, I can really do this. And then the next minute you're like, oh no, I'm getting a bit scared. I don't really want to do this. So you need to make sure, you know how Spirit said, make sure that this is what you really, really want, because it is going to require a big commitment on your part. You can't go into this 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Okay, figure it out now, basically. That's what Spirit's telling you. Figure this out now. Once you've figured it out, Scorpio, we will help you to successfully create this or manifest this. Okay, and then you've got the High Priestess, with the Four of Wands. Yep, as your strongest overall message for the whole thing. So yeah, your higher self, your intuition, your connection to Spirit. That can also be the secret keeper as well. I do suspect that you are being guided to a certain extent to be careful of what you're divulging to others at this time. You might be best served maybe keeping your plans a secret. Okay, it's very, very possible. You never know who's listening. You never know who's watching. You never know who has got some kind of envy, jealous eye. Do you know what I mean? What people don't know, they're not going to know what to attack, basically. Stability, groundwork for your future with the Four of Wands. Again, it's vital that you put that framework in place now. Interesting. Let's get your healing message. So a very successful outcome, Scorpio, depending upon what effort and what type of effort you're putting in right now, is literally Spirit's telling you, Scorpio, the ball is in your court. You bounce it to us, we're going to bounce it right back to you. Okay, so make sure it's what you want. Okay, healing message. Looks like you've got 2 of them here. Protection for the vulnerable heart and safe shelter. So let's take a look. We will, right, so you've got number 10 and number 8. 8, of course, is your number, Scorpio. 10, there's some sort of cycle that is complete. All right. Okay, vulnerable hearts can be powerful, open, honest, and wise. To remain in such a state of a heightened openness, such souls need a safe protective field from potentially undermining influences, okay? So you need a safe protective field from anything or anyone, including yourself, if you're undermining yourself, that is going to basically hamper your own growth, all right? Spiritual protection is available for all of us, yeah, algaes again. However, there are times when we feel particularly vulnerable and have a greater need for spiritual light to secure and seal our path. This protection allows our hearts to remain sensitively tuned in to what is happening so we know which steps to take. This article brings the message that when we feel the most sensitive or uncertain, we are very open to spiritual blessings. These are blessings that we want to find their way into your world, and your heart is providing protection and sanctuary in more ways than you know, so keep your heart open to spiritual grace. That's basically a fancy pants way. Scorpio is saying everything that you do it with love. Okay. Yes, so number 8, safe shelter. On a physical level, you might need... on a physical level, so in your physical lived experience, you might need to move home or find a place to live that is more aligned with your heart. You may be struggling with homelessness in your own life. In your compassion for those encountering such circumstances, or in your fear of it. Some people have a house, but not the emotional safety to transform it into a home. The Oracle of Safe Shelter calls upon Archangel Michael's protection, there's that word again, protection, to strengthen us from within, so we can find the sanctuary we need. He allows us to feel spiritual safety and offers a firm inner foundation from which we can live our best life. Am I holding that card, Squint? If your physical or emotional life is in flux, or you need to be more grounded within your being and less in the opinions of others, for example, then this article calls you back to the eternal home of light within your heart. Here you will be reassured that no matter what appears to be, the divine plan is unfolding and everything's going to be okay. All right? So much to unpack there. Safe shelter. For some of you guys, it could be about the need to find a home, an actual physical shelter. Maybe, again, like myself, in the very distant past, you might have struggled with homelessness yourself. I was homeless twice, right? Maybe that's something that still plays on your mind and stops you from feeling like you can build a permanent home. Do you know what I mean? Or if you were moved around quite a lot as a child, you might feel like you could never put down roots. All right. This is saying, Scorpio, it's safe for you to put down roots. If you are currently looking for an actual place to live, a safe place to live, you will find it. Okay. You'll be able to really put down those roots and, you know, create a home. If you currently are lucky enough to have a home, but it's a house, I should say, but it's never actually felt like home, then maybe you will be successful in finding a place, a new place that does genuinely feel like home. Maybe you could be creating your current house into an actual home, that home that you've always dreamt of, okay? So again, take it as it resonates. It could also be internally as well. Maybe you're one of these that never felt like you were home within the body that you have. Okay, maybe there's some sort of body dysmorphia. There's so many different types of body dysmorphia. Okay, it's not just about gender, right? There's so many different types of dysmorphia. Again, especially those who are disabled, right? Body dysmorphia. I don't like this body. I believe that I should have been given a normal body, right? That's body dysmorphia. When you cannot bear to live within the physical body that you have. Do you know what I mean? So finding safe shelter within yourself, it can resonate that way as well. There's so many different ways that message can resonate, but the whole point is you are here now, and you are going to feel more like you, right? Yeah, that was a bit deep. So let's take a look at some cheeky words of wisdom from the old shitty deck, just for a little bit of light-hearted fun at the end of the read, because that was quite an intense read. Okay, the world is full of shit, horrible shit, therefore you shouldn't participate or drown in that shit. So transcend from it by making your own shit meaningful and purposeful. And I love the turd with the tutu. I just think that's perfect. Okay, so yeah, focus on making your own shit meaningful and purposeful. And some people create their own shit storms and then get mad when it rains. Stay away from those people because they may end up blaming you for not being prepared for their disasters. Okay, don't take on other people's bullshit and troubles and traumas at this time, Scorpio. You have got way more than enough of your own stuff going on. Okay, you don't need everyone else's shit as well. But yeah, that is what I have for you guys today. I genuinely hope that reading has been helpful. For personal readings with me, my website is phoenixkeiatarot.com. The link for that is in my description box below. Thank you so very, very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.